Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Abby with Abby Reviews. So it is Chasing LA Season 1 Episode 5, Love Me or Hate Me. Now, before we jump into this review, let's just address the naked elephant in the room. It is very early in the morning before I clock in for work, that I'm doing this. I got overwhelmingly tired and I had a migraine yesterday, so the beat face that I did so I could do this review is no longer here. So, yes, I'm in my pajamas. Yes, I'm still in my hair is still wrapped up from the night before. I will be eating during this. Not a drop of makeup on my face. My face is washed. My teeth has been brushed. I sprayed some toner, but that's it. That's all I got for this particular situation in Circle Family. Y'all gonna get this every once in a while. It'll be okay. Let's jump into it. Okay, so we start back with Alicia and Jayla at this spa day where Jayla's getting her hair done. And so they're talking and they come and Jayla and they switch from, all of the trials and tribulations that they've been through to what's going on with the group. And Alicia and friends falling out, and she was just like, he said he was non-binary. So then I started asking, what are you? So I know in which direction to come at you, how to approach you. And that friend still has an attitude. Andre is, of course, doing the most for no reason because nobody asked him for any of all of that extra. And so they chit chat, and they're supposed to be a little party. Going to this event where T.S. Kendra, I think, is performing. Fly King I is supposed to be the host of the party, and it's Andre's actual event. But they talking about Jayla's talking about Fly King I. She doesn't know his name. She just keeps calling him the older gentleman, which he looks older than them. Because they're like 20 something, they're babies. So, and that Fly King I had so much to say about them and the group and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna say nothing about that weave that she was getting pressed out or her wig placements on her foreheads that look weird because it looks off to me, but that could just be me. What do I know? Even in her confessional where she has this pretty blonde, crimped out situation, the placement looks wrong to me. But it could be the angle from the camera. I don't know. Something's going on with where people are placing her wigs. So it looks weird to me. I could absolutely be wrong. And if I met her in person and looked at her, it would look fine. But on camera, that's what it's giving me. But, child, let's move on. Okay, so we then go to a work scene with Andre where he was dressing Amina Butterfly and April Joe. And he was asking them for advice with the group. And they was just like, just stay true to yourself. And everything will work itself out, which is very much true. I feel like Andre is never really going to get along with everyone in the group because he genuinely feels like he's better than everyone else. He feels like nobody's on his level because of the work that he does. So, that's a thing. He talks about having a shoot coming up and he wants to get in contact with April 4. And he just finished a magazine shoot with Amina. And so you can see Andre is really doing his work and stuff, which we can appreciate. His feelings of feeling superior, though. Not too cute. But it is what it is. Okay, so we just had a scene with Quan the poet. And, listen, try and get dressed in between things. He did a couple of beautiful spoken word. He did a couple of beautiful spoken word poems. One about Black Lives Matter and the trans women being murdered in the community. It's very powerful. And in it, he was saying the list of names of people who have been murdered and asking the Black community to stand up for them, just like we stood up for all the Black men who were unjustly murdered. So it was absolutely beautiful and touching and moving. And it gives you a better insight of who Quan is and what he's about. Okay, once again, Sister Van Zamp has come in and cleared the girls. She went back to things she liked, things she loathed, and things that we can learn. And she said she liked the work scenes. She liked the work scenes, but when she got to what she loathed, I tried to be as kind as I could be towards D. Hawkins in his confessional looks last week. Amani had no such that was not her goal. Her goal was not to be kind to this child about his confession. She had what the Milli Vanilli. Jesus Christ. I said, oh my God. Like I was okay. So Auntie is clearing the girls this season, and she was talking about how some of the people in the comments, she said in regards to Andre, you know, be yourself. But you so busy putting on for the cameras, and you so busy putting on for the cameras that nobody likes you. If you look at, she said, look at the comments. There's maybe 2 people in the comments that like you. Everybody else don't like you because you're doing too much. Oh. Okay, shout out to my lip balm. Making my lips look super juicy. Appreciate that. You know, I feel the same way. I feel like Andre is really putting on, you know, to do the most. Wow, that's a lot. That's a whole yikes. I'm gonna get myself together because that really, like, and she said something about, she said some people in the comments talk about some, that they thought Amani was doing too much, saying too much, and Amani was very clear. She's like, these are pre-submitted and they have to be approved. If Chase and LA had an issue with anything that was being said, these segments wouldn't be in the show. So let's let it really be known what's really happening around here. And they're like, at this point, she doesn't think they're going to ask her to be a part of the reunion. And she was like, that's okay. She's like, I don't hate none of y'all. I love y'all. It just clean it up. Take the constructive criticism, use it to turn it around. Point blank period, the end. And she's absolutely correct. Okay, so y'all really trying to get me into my feelings this week, I see. So we are at our fan favorite, our good Judy, Hershey LaCour's house. He invited Quan and Jayla over for some drinks. And they're just talking about how they're getting along during COVID with the city being shut down, and how both Jayla and Hershey lost their regular 9-to-5 jobs. And Jayla said she had been living off of her savings. And so she had to make a decision to move somewhere more cost effective for her, because she was staying in a studio apartment and paying $1,600 a month. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment and I pay $1,200. So $1,600 for a studio. Child, baby. I understand. So she is moving to Vegas, but she'll still be traveling back and forth. Which, trust me, I understand. Whatever you do, what you have to do to make sure that you're okay. You can still participate. You're still chasing LA. You know, you just have to do what you have to do to make sure that you continue to have a roof over your head. And so Hershey goes into a conversation about one of his drag mother was like, she works with this outreach LA program, and she was like, everybody's like tight on cash, and she was like, if you go and get an HIV test done, they're giving out $50 gift cards. And Hershey said all he heard was $50 gift card. He's like, I wanted to go to Best Buy, so he went and he's like, I'll just go take the test. And he came back positive. And he said he had mentally checked out for a while, which I completely understand. I have been in the same position. I have been in the same position as Hershey, although I was not sexually assaulted. When I was married, like very early into our marriage, my husband got sick. He got a cold he could not get rid of. And we took him to the doctor, and he came back positive. I was very pregnant with our last baby, Isaiah, when we got the news. And I had to be, because, they test you. When you come up pregnant, they test you for everything. And so it was months later. I was very, 7-8 months pregnant, heavy pregnant, when we found out about his diagnosis. And then they had to retest me again because they were saying, well, we want to retest you just in case, because we can get you on medication so you don't pass it to the baby. Now, luckily for me, every test that I've ever taken has come back negative. I continue to test throughout our marriage. I continue to test after we were no longer together. And I continue to test now. I am hypochondriacal about it. But by his grace and mercy, I continue to test negative. But I have been in that place. And then he said he had to have a conversation with his boyfriend, who genuinely loves him, and they have stayed together throughout this situation. And he said it was just like one thing on top of the other. Him getting the diagnosis, then he losing his job, the city shut down, so there's no drag for him to channel that type of energy into. So he is slowly but surely coming out on the other side of this, and we thank God for him. And he said something very significant. He said it was significant to me because he said, I have conversations with the Lord about me and no one else. And I wish more people thought that way. I'm always telling people, the Lord is not going to ask me about any of the deeds that you did. He's only going to be concerned about what I did. So be concerned about yourself. Work on yourself. Do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They really tried to get me in my feelings today. And I'm gonna talk to Hershey later on this evening on my channel, 7:00. Please be there. This event, one person has showed up to this event, and already there's an issue. So Andre and Fly King, I are throwing this love and hate mixer. Everyone is invited. It's supposed to be a come to Jesus, King Kumbaya powwow situation. King Pain arrives. He looks cute in his little red and black for the mix. You're supposed to wear red or black, or I guess a mixture thereof, because it's like a Valentine's Day situation. When he gets there, the song playing by the DJ is I Can't Stand the Rain by Miss Elliott. King Pain is like, y'all trying to be funny? Just as soon as I get here, this is what we doing. And Andre is like, well, I'm sorry. There's no shade. It's not like it was done on purpose. It's just an unhappy coincidence that song just happened to be playing. So they immediately get into it. And Andre was like, well, you can get out. He's been there 30 seconds. Jeremy shows up. He's like, I just got here. I go to the step and repeat. Been here 30 seconds. And all of a sudden, King Pay and Andre is going at it. And he's trying to figure out what it is to calm everybody down. And Andre is trying to kick King Pay out the event already. This is already a shit show. And it ain't even started for real yet. Jesus. Okay, so it's becoming more and more obvious that like this is a bunch of messy bitches. So apparently Jeremy, who hasn't had an issue with anybody, all of a sudden has an issue with D Hawkins because D Hawkins, Quan asked, okay, so Jeremy was on Bigo, his Bigo Live, and Quan came through and Quan said to Jeremy that he said, why weren't you at D Hawkins' studio event? And D Hawkins said he would never have Jeremy at any of his events, and he got an attitude, and that he wanted to bring up some tea about Jeremy's past or something that he's done in his past. Okay, I'm sorry, I took a phone call. Scooter says hi, everybody. So D Hawkins is talking about he gonna spread some of this child's business about his past. How is that any of your business, sir? How is that any of your affair? So Jeremy is like, well, I'm gonna just spray my own tea. You're not gonna spray me with my tea because I'm gonna spray myself with my own tea. That's because it's my business, as you should, sir. So Hershey shows up and he says, I didn't have to look for the event because I could hear them niggas arguing from outside. Oh God. And so Jeremy and Andre are standing outside and they was talking about the D Hawkins and the if situation, and Jayla and Alicia pull up, and Andre and Alicia have a conversation where they bury the hatchet and they apologize to each other. It was lovely. So we about to see how far left this goes because everybody already in the shit. So here we go. Okay. Hypocrite, thy name is Fly King I. So Jayla and Alicia come in and they start hugging each other. Everybody is greeting people. And Jayla says to Fly King I, oh, you seem so much nicer than I thought you were going to be. And he was like, unless Jesus told you, why would you take what somebody else has said and then put that in the atmosphere at somebody else's event? You did the exact same thing, sir. The exact same thing. You did the exact same thing. You took the gossip and the foolishness that Fran gave you when y'all first met into your next event with someone else from the group trying to get tea. So you took preconceived notions from what someone else said into another situation at somebody's event. So what are you talking about? That don't even make... Shush. So you literally in your feelings because she said, oh, you're so nice. That's not what I was expecting from what I heard from you. What? And, okay. Oh, whatever. So they're having the conversation, the pronouns and respecting people's pronouns. And that was the question that Fred pulled out the jar because it was this question game, would you or would you not? So the premise of the game, there's a glass jar that's going around, got a bunch of questions. You the question or take a shot. You take a shot, you can either take the shot or you pick somebody to take the shot. And you keep pulling until you get an actual question. Now, once you get a question, you either answer the question yourself or you can hand the question to somebody and have them answer it. So Fred picks out the question. Why is it important for people to use your correct pronouns? And he hands the question off to Alicia. And Alicia says, okay, before I answer this question, I just want to say, not only is it important for people to use your correct pronouns, but people have to know what your correct pronouns are. And sometimes they can't tell just by looking at you, so you have to inform them. And she was like, and using the correct pronouns is about respect how I identify. And so they get into the conversation, and there's really no reason for a friend to take offense because what they're saying, I honestly don't see a reason for a friend to be offended because, again, like Alicia said, even though you've had modifications done to your body, you get very much man. And even you're not giving woman, you're giving man Nobody can tell by just looking at you that you're non-binary. You must inform people. If you want to be respected by your proper pronouns and you do not present as the pronouns that you identify as, then it is up to you. If you want them to call you by your proper pronouns, for you to say, I am non-binary, I go by them, they. Those are the correct pronouns for me. And then people will respect that and call you both by those pronouns. But if you're getting into a heated situation, somebody who you've not presented you who your proper pronouns are, they're going to identify you by how you present in that moment. So for you to continue to be offended by this, then we get to Andre, who was trying to help the situation along, and they was kind of getting heated with the conversation, and then he starts screaming, I'm sick of you bitches, I'm sick of you bitches, all this going off and popping off is whack, and y'all bitches need to get y'all lives together. And you're in the middle of a tirade, but you tired of people going off. Riddle me that, Batman. How does that work? How exactly does that work? Because you are, out of all the arguments, you have gone off the most. You went off at the mountain. You went off at Hamburger Mary's. You going off here. Like, you always seem to have, like, your fuse is so short for you to pop off. And then Quan then jumped up, because Quan is already going through some shit in his personal life. And now his nerves is toe up, and he about to rock your shit. Because you don't know how to sit down and act like you got some damn sense. And you screaming and hollering at everybody. I don't get it, man. So it just devolved from there. Quan the poet is screaming at Andre. Andre is screaming at Quan the poet. Quan is like, you're going to have to put me out, because I don't get put out, because I run the city. And he was like, I'm going to have my security escort your ass right on out, and then I'm going to beat you outside because I want all the smoke. Andre, you weigh 32 pounds soaking wet, beloved. I don't think this is what you want with Quan. I just don't. You're not in the same weight class, baby. This is not going to turn out good for you, darling. I don't know what you're thinking about. And it looks like next week it just escalates from there. Andre is screaming in Jayla's face, and it looks like he runs up on her to attack her as she's leaving. Like, it's a lot. I don't know what y'all doing. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? This don't make no sense. A child. Okay, that's final thoughts. This is the shit show of it all. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And y'all go from something wonderful and uplifting as the segment with Hershey and his HIV status, and, you know, finding faith and coming back again and getting his life back in order, to this shit show of a event where y'all all are acting the act. Child, oh Lord. This has made me extremely tired, and I feel like now I gotta take a nap, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. This is ridiculous. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a kid, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.